Hello and welcome to another episode of Dare to Homestead. I'm Lori with Dawnbreaker Farms. It's been a while. We've been really busy. We had family up visiting for a week. They have summer homes up here, and so we had a lot of family and a lot of stuff going on. We've been hatching new quail, incubating more eggs. We've been planting a garden. We've been milking our goats. We have a lot of goat's milk, and I attempted to make yogurt. I can show you how that went. And oh my gosh, we built a duck pen for our ducks. We are building another coop for our up and coming chickens and a pen for our turkey so he can roost. They're not mature yet, they're still young, but they are ready to go into a coop and into pens. We got a better water source up here, so we have access to more water, which is going to help us water our garden and our goats and all of our animals. It's already 87 degrees up here at 7,000 feet. Hottest day of the year up here so far. And it's going to be a hot summer, so we're really grateful for the water source. I put a little pool in with a fountain, and we're just getting it done slowly but surely, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's hatch day. So far we have 9, and number 10 is on the way. There's 21 eggs in here. So we're at about a 50% hatch right now. We'll see how far we get. Love them when they're small like this. They're so cute. He's so cute. It's a windy day today. We're finally getting our raised beds built. This is our first one. Season starts late up here, but we're also a little late. That's okay. Got our vegetables, some of them ready to go in. As soon as we add the finishing touches and get the dirt in there. Okay, we got our first raised bed finished and planted. We put carpet underneath. I'm not sure if I like that because it's really bulky, but it's what we had and we're experimenting. So we got cucumbers and tomatoes in this planter, and I just fertilized and watered them. The fertilizer is from our rabbits. The water's from that tank right there. Have a hose running down here. Gravity works great, works in our favor. A little water feature here. Meow. What you doing up there? Huh? Kitty kitty? We had 11 chicks hatch out of 21 eggs, and one of them died, so we have 10 now. And I had some water in this little lid right here, and one of these little guys right here under the light almost drowned, but I found him. I've been checking on him often and revived him, and I put little glass pebbles in the water so they can't fall in. I mean, that is so shallow. I was amazed that it fell in and almost drowned, but it's fine now, and these pebbles should keep them from falling in. If they do fall, they'll just fall on top of the pebbles and be okay. Here's a look at our ducks. They've grown quite a bit. They were in a previous video, and they were pretty small. We just have a little playpen for them outside, but we've built a pen for them now. And we've got a swimming pool for them that they love. Swedish blues they don't fly. And they don't really swim. I guess they just like to get in and wait a little bit, but they're not big swimmers. It's fun to watch them grow. I love the ducks. I love all of our animals, but these guys are so cute. And the goats are hollering to get out of the barn and be fed and watered. Good morning to Heidi and Helga. They are enjoying their breakfast. Just let them out of the barn. And they're doing really well. Super happy goats. We're getting about 1.5 gallons of milk from them each day. And Heidi gives us the most milk, as you can see. She's really full right now. Milk I really wants in right now. Don't you? You trying to get my attention? These are my 8-week-old quail, and they just laid their first eggs this morning. I found 2. Actually, they probably laid them last night because quail lay in the evening. But I had 2 blue eggs in here this morning when I looked. I'm gonna have to check with my friend Michelle because she has the same hatch. And she has been waiting for eggs too. She has quail from this same hatch. I sold her a dozen. So we'll see if she's getting eggs yet. This is the other side of the pen where they eat and drink. And they go in through this little door here.
I open up the lid and he flies up and sits on the perch.
These little quail are about 4 weeks old now. They're below the ones I just showed you. So they've got a few more weeks before they start laying. But they are growing. These were the chicks in my previous video, the ones that had just hatched, and I let them out of the brooder, or I let them out of the incubator and they went into the brooder. So they are growing, super healthy. And they also have a little door here that they can go through, and they love sawdust and dirt. They love to bathe. And it's a nice place for them to hide out too. They're doing really well. We'll have eggs from them pretty soon. I've had this goat milk sitting in the refrigerator for about 5 days, and I let the cream rise to the top. You can see there's still a little bit of cream in there, but I spooned a lot of it off. And goat's milk, it's more homogenized, and so it doesn't separate like cow's milk does. So you don't get as much cream rising to the top. But I learned that if you scrape a little bit every day, just set it in the back of your fridge and scrape a little bit off every day, you can get enough cream to make butter. So that's what I'm doing with this jar here, is I'm going to be saving it up to make butter. You can see the skim of cream still on the top there. But I think I'm going to leave this cream in here and make yogurt today. Okay, I chose the jar I'm going to use for the rest of the cream. And it's this jar here that didn't get quite full on our milking on June 1st. But you can see how the cream has risen to the top. Some cream, and supposedly each day that cream, new cream, will rise to the top and you can just scrape it off. So I'm going to scrape this off, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so you see that spoon? That's just pure cream. I've not made yogurt this way, but my friend was telling me about making yogurt in the crock pot, so I'm going to try it. I have the crock pot set to low, and I'm going to let it simmer for about 3 hours on low. I'm going to put the lid on and just forget about it for about 3 hours, and then we'll be back. And we are planting a garden today. We have already started with a raised bed that Matt built. We decided to simplify. You can see the raised bed over there. Watering the vegetables that we already planted, and this hose leaks. Gotta get that fixed. So I'm just letting it drip into the herbs. We planted herbs in this one. We just planted peppers over there. 4 different kinds. So Anaheim, Fresno, the Serranos, and the sweet pepper. And then over on this side, we planted radishes. I just boiled 42 quail eggs. I'm going to pickle them. Putting them in the bag and into the refrigerator overnight, and I'll pickle them tomorrow. So tell us what happened, Matt.
Well, we got a patch. We got Gorilla Tape on the back of our IBC container, patching a hole. It was a free tank, but we discovered the hole once we started filling it. And, we had it filled today, and it started leaking on us. So we've got a pump, and we're running the water out of that pump into another IBC. So we're salvaging our water.
Below the hole.
Yep, just until it gets below the hole.
Yeah.
We might just put it all in and just take that whole tank off.
Yeah, well, luckily we bought this IBC tank today, not even knowing that we'd sprung another leak.
Yep.
And we bought a pump. We got a pump.
Yep.
Not even knowing, so we were prepared.
Right in time, divine providence.
To save our water. So
Thank
yeah,
you, Jesus.
that's definitely divine providence for sure. So
gorgeous sky out there today too. Look at these.
Wow, beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
We had to put this wire mesh over this garden bed. It has carrots and onions in it because the chickens want to dig in it, and the cat thinks it's a litter box. And then we planted peppers over here. We're gonna need a lot of water because it is dry and hot up here. Yeah, so we're gonna need a lot of water to keep our plants healthy and growing. And then over here in this one, we're gonna put a hoop house over this whole thing, but we just covered this up for the deer, so they can't get to them for now. Yeah, it's coming together. We got 2 more planter boxes to plant, which we planned on doing today, but we've had some challenges, so we'll see if we can get it done. 87 degrees today out here. What? Oh.
You won't drink too much.
No, probably not. I showed you the beginning of my yogurt making process where I poured goat's milk into this crock pot. I was supposed to let it cook on low for 3 hours. I forgot about it, and it was more like 5. I just got busy. I turned it off, unplugged it, and I put a couple of coats around it to keep it hot for as long as possible. I let it sit overnight, and I checked it this morning, and it tasted like yogurt. It was more like creamy milk. So I just put the lid back on and forgot about it all day today, and I just came back and checked on it again, and it's thicker. It's like it's thickening up and getting some nice little yogurt chunks in it. So I think I'm just gonna let it sit a little bit longer. I was following a certain recipe And the recipe said it would be yogurt by morning, but it wasn't. But this is actually pretty good. I'm gonna let it sit until it's been 24 hours. I'm gonna check it again and then I'll bottle it up. I'm just gonna go with it at that point, and it might be more of a drinkable yogurt. Welcome back to the yogurt making activity. It's been not as long as I thought I'd wait, but it's been long enough, and I'm going to scoop the yogurt into these jars. But before I do that, I'm going to try an immersion blender because there's a lot of chunks, and it's just making yogurt. That's probably why. I just want to break down these chunks a little bit. It's a texture thing, right? This is going to be like a drinkable yogurt, so I want it nice and smooth. Whoever's drinking this jar can flavor it the way they want. We have a bullet, NutriBullet. You can blend up berries, make smoothies. You can add vanilla and honey for sweetness. Maybe if you're watching this and you've made homemade yogurt before, you can offer me some tip. But see, it's thick and creamy, but it's not so thick that you would eat it with a spoon. You could just drink it. I just want to show you. It's pretty milky still, but excellent flavor. It has a sweetness to it. It hasn't even been flavored at all, and it definitely has a sweetness to it. Just drink it plain. It's really good. It's getting close to the end of the day. I'm getting ready to cook dinner. I wanted to show you just a couple more things before we say goodnight. I'm getting ready to make sourdough bread again, and I wanted to show you my starter. So it used to be that I would have a starter on hand. I had some starter that my friend Michelle gave me. I talk about her a lot. She gave me starter when I learned to make sourdough bread, and I used that for I think the first 2 batches that I made, first 2 times. And then it fell on the floor. It fell off the top of the fridge where I had it, and it fell on the floor and it broke, and there was glass in it, so I had to dispose of it. And then I found another recipe. You just make your starter, and within a week you can use it. You don't have to feed it. You can. And it will even be ready sooner than that, depending on the temperature of your house and the type of flour that you use, whether or not you use water or something else. So what I did is I used buttermilk. So I used 1 part buttermilk and 1 part semolina flour. You can use rye, you can use whole wheat, you can even use all-purpose or bread flour, but the higher the protein content in the flour, the quicker the starter is going to be ready for bread. So this is 1 part buttermilk, 1 part semolina, and when I put it in here, it was about right there, maybe a little like in between these 2 lines here. And it's been a week. And it's been this way for a few days. It's actually looking even better now, but you can see the bubbles starting to form in it, and just the nice texture on the top. It's ready. It's going to be like a really good sourdough. See how it's a little thicker than maybe your pancake batter, but it's ready to go. It smells really good. So I'm going to be making sourdough within the next couple of days. My first video was on making sourdough bread, but I think I'm going to take you through it again, the whole process, because I started when I was kneading the dough, and I referred you to a recipe that I follow online. If you'd like to see me do the whole process of making sourdough, maybe comment and let me know, and I'm probably going to do it anyway. But I will record the whole process of me making sourdough bread. The other thing I showed you earlier in this video are my quail eggs. I have about 42 quail eggs here. We're getting about a dozen quail eggs a day right now, so that's great. We've been building up to this for a long time. But I boiled these yesterday. It was late. I was tired. So I just put them in the refrigerator. I'm going to put a little bit of water in this bottle right here, cold water. Shake these eggs up in it and peel them. Supposedly, and it's worked for me before, supposedly it makes them easier to peel. And then I'm going to pickle them. So I would love to show you that process in a future video. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover, what I talked about in my introduction. If I didn't, and I'll try to include it in a future video. But it's a lot of work here at Dawnbreaker Farms, but it's worth it. We love it. We're becoming more and more self-sufficient all the time. It's a lot of fun, a lot of work, and totally worth it. So dare to homestead. Here we are at our happy place again. Party lights on.